So today we're going to talk about a team that is on pace to win over 70 games, and no one is talking about it at all. So I looked at the standings, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are 29-4. And 29-4 is a record that really stands out. How are the Cleveland Cavaliers 29-4? Last time I checked, they were, a decent team, last years before. Not mediocre, but they'll win 50 games, high 40s. First round matchup, maybe get to the second round. And last time I saw them, they lost in 5 to Boston. So how is this team one of the most dominant NBA teams that has ever existed up to this point? This is a team that started 15-0. Only 2-3 teams have ever started 15-0, and they all made the finals. Is Cleveland could be that team? Today, I just want to break down a little bit, just give you my opinion on this Cleveland Cavalier team, and tell you, is this team legitimate? Will they actually make the finals and actually potentially win a championship, or is this all fraudulent? Let's break it down a little bit. So first and foremost, the only change that I can recall, I don't know too much, but I know this. They got Kenny Atkinson. And I really like Kenny Atkinson as a coach. He was a Brooklyn Nets coach. They weren't good, but they were a fun team. And then Kyrie came in and said, nah, we don't want that. We don't need a coach, said Kyrie. And they got rid of him. I thought that was stupid. They got Steve Nash, and the rest is history. Their plot was atrocious. This year, he got hired. It looks like these boys are balling. So shout out to Kenny Atkinson. You're obviously, at this point, the coach of the year. So from looking at Cleveland on the outside in, it just seems like this team is just a well-oiled machine. They're cohesive. They do everything right. They're efficient. And it's like almost the anti of the rest of the NBA. Jack up a lot of threes, don't play defense. It's not very cohesive. A lot of teams in the NBA, the basketball really isn't that good. But Cleveland, they're amazing. They shoot a lot of threes, but they make them at a 40% clip as a basketball team, which is amazing. Literally top 5 percentage of all time as a basketball team in shooting threes. This is a team that you sit down and watch them play. Great at passing the ball, they're great at shooting threes, great at the free throw line. Evan Mobley has evolved and he's shooting more threes. Their pace has increased. They don't turn over the ball a lot, but they also force a lot of turnovers as well. They're an elite offensive team and their defense is great. The rim protection with Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. They're so cohesive. It's so beautiful. It's beautiful basketball, well-coached team. You can tell that is a team that it gels really well together. But even then, it's like, even with all of that being said, is it crazy that this team is 29-4? That is insane. Like, think about it like this. If LeBron James was on this Cleveland team, they would say this is the greatest team ever. They would say this team could be the greatest team of all time. They literally played the Lakers New Year's Eve, and it wasn't on national television. It was a Bally Sports game. It wasn't on TNT or ABC, which is crazy because LeBron has connections to Cleveland. He played there for 11 seasons, and this Cleveland team is literally one of the greatest teams of all time. I mean, they're beating teams on average of 12 points per game, which would be the 5th best in NBA history. So obviously, if you look at the first 33 games played, the last 6 teams to have a record this good or better all made the finals. They're beating teams consistently at a really high rate. This is literally, up to this point, one of the most dominant teams of all time. This team should get more coverage because this is insane. You cannot be a team this great and I don't see you on TNT. This is the marketing problem. I get it. It's Cleveland. I understand, it's Donovan Mitchell, not LeBron James, but still, this is an outstanding basketball team. There's a team actually right behind them in terms of how great they are in the Oklahoma City Thunder that's 28-5, and I don't see them on TV as much either. This, like, literally, if Cavs played the Thunder in the finals, it'd be the lowest watched finals of all time, I promise you, but it would be some beautiful basketball. But the big question is, how legitimate is this team? Could this team beat any of the historic teams of all time, let alone can it beat the Boston Celtics of this time? That's a very good question. Honestly, if this Cavs team played the Golden State Warriors that won 73 games, Chicago Bulls that won 72, any of the historic team, the historic Lakers, I would assume that those teams would win because this team feels Atlanta hawkish. You remember the 2014-15 Hawks won 60 games, really good team, had a really good record. And it was just like, they were just a really well-built machine. But when you face an all-time player, that kind of falls off. So I would assume that when they play one of these all-time player teams, then yeah, they definitely gonna lose because they don't have a Steph Curry, a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the Boston Celtics is obviously the team that I see would play the Cavs in the conference championship. This has to be the conference championship matchup. I know the Knicks are playing really well, but if the Cavs are 29-4, they literally have to win 60 games. If they go 31-18, they're a 60-win team. I think they'll be better than 31-18, so they're probably going to win 65 games, barring any major injuries. So it's likely to be the Boston Celtics versus the Cavs, and in all honesty, I do believe the Boston Celtics would win that matchup. I just think the Celtics are just an absolute monster of a team that honestly, I think the Cavs will put up a decent fight, and it'll be a 6-game series, but to me, it's that difference. Like, they have to show me, the Cavs really have to show me something. They haven't shown me anything in the postseason, and if Kenny Atkinson comes in and changes all of that, that'd be dope for them, but they really have to show me something. They also have a relatively easy, light schedule in the start. I did some research. Their schedule is like the 29th easiest schedule, so only one team has an easier schedule than them, so that can also factor into it, but still, winning 29 out of 33 games is outstandingly impressive. Players on this team have evolved. The depth is really good, and they do everything well. And if you're a fan that wants to watch good basketball and get into basketball, you should check out the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm definitely going to check out more Cleveland Cavaliers games as well. But if you're a Cavs fan, you also understand there are hesitation for me to crown you as that team. Also, considering that there is a team in the Thunder that can definitely also be one of the greatest teams of all time at this point, because their start is amazing as well. You have to prove to me that you can get it done in big time games and against big time teams. When you play teams like the Boston Celtics, I have to see you get it done. I saw you play the Celtics. I don't know if you played them any more times, but the first time you played them, you were 15-0 and you lost. And I was like, everybody and their mama was like, dang, they good and all, but can they beat the Celtics? To be the man, you gotta beat the man. So for you to be taken serious, you have to hit the Celtics in the mouth and you have to win. When you play them, most likely in the conference championship, Donovan Mitchell, superstars is what win playoff series. Superstars, the best players, that's what win playoff series. Having a great team is good, but in those big game 6s and 7s, when your other players, when your role players aren't playing well, they're on the road, they're not playing good, those are the guys that have to step up. It's hard to see the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. It really is. But the way they're playing has to be celebrated. The NBA needs to do a better job of marketing this team, because this team is literally right now the creme de la creme in the association. So if you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan and you're excited about your team, comment down below. If you think the Cavaliers will win the NBA championship or get to the finals, comment down below. Or if you disagree and you think the Boston Celtics will definitely beat the brakes off the Cavaliers, comment down below. Also, make sure to like this video. And yeah, check out the Cavaliers, bro. They definitely play some good ball. Also, sign up with our sponsor, Boom Fantasy. The first $100 is risk-free. Just gotta use the promo code SPORTSFACTORY. Once you do that, first $100 is risk-free. You do a deposit, and it helps to support the channel. So sign up. The link is in the description. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.